So if you're trying to sell a course online in 2024, then the number one way to generate sales as fast as possible, especially if you don't have an audience, is through Facebook ads. And in this quick video, I'm going to show you our step-by-step process on exactly how we create high converting Facebook ads to sell online courses, memberships, high ticket programs, and everything in between. So you can copy and paste this system for your own online course or info products, and potentially in 2 hours from now, have amazing Facebook ads live, crushing it and generating sales every single day. And if you stick around to the end of this video, I'm gonna give you a free training that comes with AI prompts, downloads, templates, and all the tools you need to be able to get these ads live as quickly as possible at the end of the video. My name's Lucas. I'm the founder of Courses and Funnels, where we have a portfolio of over 100 info products that we either own or have partnered on. And this is the exact process that we're using every single week to scale online courses to generate millions every single year. So let's jump into it. Firstly, I'm going to give you the high level overview of exactly what this process looks like, and then we're going to drill deep into each step so you'll know exactly what to do. So firstly, the higher level process that we do is two things. Number one, it's all about video creative, and number two, it's all about angles. So firstly, the reason that we want to do videos is because with all of our testing, videos convert way higher than static images or carousels or text or things like that, especially on Facebook. And it's why you see the biggest course creators online, the Hormozis, the Mind Valleys, Ty Lopez, all of those big guys, they're all using video ads. Now videos, they're obviously a lot harder to make than images, but they're a lot more powerful, because if one picture is worth 1,000 words, then one video is worth 1,000 pictures, right? You can convey a lot more information, you can elicit a lot more emotions with music and visuals, and it's a lot more powerful. And if you have someone watching, a 60-minute, in some cases we even have 30-minute videos online that we're running as Facebook ads, the amount of selling power and proof and case studies and stories and visual images and emotion you can build up in that video is a lot more powerful than an image ever could. So by the time they get to your landing page, they know you, they're familiar with you, they're almost pre-sold, okay? And now secondly, the second part of it is angle testing, right? Because a lot of people come to the agency and they're like, oh, hey, we tried Facebook ads and they didn't work. And I look at their ad account and they show what they did, and they ran maybe 1 or 2 ads. Both of them sucked and none of them worked, right? So what we do with the agency and the process I'm going to show you in the rest of this video is how we can test different angles to see which angle works the best to sell the course, or which angles, right? So if you test 8 different angles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 8, we may find that angle 2 and angle 6 work the best. They're getting the best ROAS and converting the most. And then Facebook and the data is telling that this is the messaging, this is the kind of like product market messaging fit that we have, and then we can double down on that. So that's what the process high level looks like. It's shipping video ads and shipping a ton of different angles to test, finding what works, finding what's winning, and then making different variations to try and beat that winner. So without further ado, let's actually dive deep into the exact process that we're using. Now, a caveat before we go into the kind of cool technical stuff is the best video ad in the world isn't going to save you if your product is shit and if your funnel is shit, right? So this is only going to work if you have a validated product and a funnel that actually converts. And if you have a new funnel that you haven't tested yet, then video ads are the best way to do it, because you can convey the most information on Facebook as opposed to having an image, people click through and the funnel sucks and no one gets it. They're a lot more pre-sold. You can do a lot more selling on the video. So if you have an offer that you know that people want, you have a funnel that you know converts, then you are ready to do Facebook video ads. Now, before we go into scripting or production or filming, anything like that, the very first step that we do is research. Now, this is super important because we don't need to reinvent the wheel. Chances are, unless you're in some crazy random niche that nobody's done before, ads have been shipped by our competitors, they've been tested, they're running them in ads library, and you can see exactly what's working. So we have a 3-phase approach to doing research that we do for every single product, every single funnel and ad campaign that we launch before we actually go into production. So there's 3 main things that you want to research. The first thing you want to research is obviously the customer and the customer avatar. Now, there's lots of ways to do this. This is probably like a whole separate video. One of my favorites is using ChatGPT. So we have some awesome AI prompts that get everything from their problems, their deepest desires, their objections, other options that they've used in the past or that they're using right now or that they plan to use in the future, what's wrong with them, and really want to get a whole landscape of exactly who our avatar is, or avatars, right? In a lot of cases, you can actually segment your potential market into different buyers, right? For example, if you're running an e-commerce course, we may have someone who is working a 9 to 5 and they want to leave their 9 to 5 and kind of be their own boss. a step up from that, another avatar is maybe someone who's dabbled in e-commerce before, maybe done a little bit of drop shipping courses, but they're stuck and they don't know what to do. Beyond that, there could be someone that already has an existing brand and they're stuck, right? So you can see there with a single course, there's different market avatars, and ideally we can get all the data, like we said, all the pain points, the objections, the frustrations, the desires, the other options that they're using, the kind of self-identifications that they have, the beliefs, through AI. Another great way to do this is, looking on Amazon. So you can look at, reviews, 1-star reviews, 5-star reviews of books or products similar in your niche. See, what the language is, what people are looking for, what's bad about them, and you can collect all this information into a doc. And this is going to be amazing for you when you go and write ads, because you don't need to create anything or assume or make things up. All the information is there. Like the best ads that we've ever shipped is sometimes just copy and pasting what a positive review said on Amazon, word for word. So that's the first thing, customer research. The second part of research that we want to do is competitor research. Like I said, we don't need to reinvent the wheel. Chances are there's already people crushing it online, and we can just copy and reverse engineer what they're doing. So the first thing we do is Ad Spy. Now this is a paid product. You can also use Facebook Ads Library, where you can search keywords, whether it's e-commerce, crypto, real estate, dating, and through those keywords you can actually filter and see the top ads that are running right now in any country, right? So I would just search a keyword, filter by which ad has the most videos, and then we can see exactly what type of creative, what type of angles and messaging is working, and then again, filter all that down into a table so we can see exactly what's working, put it into a doc so we don't have to reverse engineer the wheel, and we can just copy what's already working for other people. And the third part of this research process is what we call market research, right? So researching the market, researching the world on social media, seeing what trends are happening, what people are talking about, and see if we can leverage anything that people are already paying attention to in our ads, okay? So there's a few ways to do this. One of my favorites is going onto TikTok. So going onto TikTok and literally just searching a keyword of the industry that you're in, and then straight away you'll see the most viral videos and the most viral hooks of what people are already watching, right? So I would go in, look at the formats. Is it selfie videos? Is it stories? Is it kind of educational content? What are the hooks? What's the kind of messaging, and make a list of that as well. Same thing with YouTube, right? You can search long form YouTube videos just by typing in a keyword, filter by the last 6 months, and see kind of what's trending, right? What are the hooks? What are the images? What are the thumbnails? What are people already clicking? Because we want to take all that data before we go into ads. Finally, as well, one thing we're doing is we're using either ChatGPT or Google to find trends or kind of viral news stories in our industry, right? If we're doing, there's actually an example of a real estate course that we just launched recently that's crushing, and one of our top ads is about some like government grant that just got released under the Biden administration that's giving like $200 million to each city for this like real estate scheme. It's kind of confusing, but leading with that news article, which is already a viral story, okay, we can like leverage off that attention. It's like, oh my God, there's a big change happening. What's happening? It doesn't even feel like an ad, and then you can transition into the pitch, right? Another example of this, one of my first jobs, Founder Magazine, one of the best ads that we ever ran was an ad about Kylie Jenner. I think at this stage, Kylie Jenner just became, the youngest ever self-made billionaire. So obviously we put that into an ad. Oh my God, Kylie Jenner just became a billionaire because she started e-commerce, and there's a huge opportunity, but you don't need to be a celebrity to do it, right? So you can capitalize off these trends. So that's the research part. And the fourth part of researching, which is probably the easiest, is researching yourself, right? So if you're selling a coaching program or a product, looking into the course and seeing, what's different about it, looking into your own story and seeing, what did you do differently? Kind of how can you differentiate from everyone else out there? Is there like a unique process or a unique system or something that's different that you're doing that nobody else is doing, right? Is it a particular marketing strategy? Is it a particular type of product that you invest in, or a particular opportunity that you're doing that nobody else is doing? Because once you have that, we can look at what we're doing, see what's different about it, and then compare that to why everything else on the market doesn't work. Okay. So to recap the research phase, number one, research the customers, know everything about them, all their thoughts, beliefs, identification, desires, know them better than they know themselves. Okay. Number two is researching competitors, finding what's already working for other people that they've spent money on so we can use it for ourselves. Number three is looking into the world, looking into the market, seeing what videos are trending, what topics and news stories are trending, if we can leverage any of them. And then number four is looking at our own process, at our own product, at our own story, and seeing what's unique, what's kind of sexy and different about that. Now, We've done the research. The next phase, before you go into scripting or anything like that, is coming up with angles, okay? Now, what is an angle? An angle is basically, an ad idea, right? It's a way of framing or pitching or selling a product or a webinar or whatever your CTA is in different ways, okay? For context, we've worked on products where, for a single product and a single landing page, we were shipping 100 angles every single month, okay? So you may think, oh, I've done it all. There is literally an infinite amount of angles, okay? If we're selling a course on how to start an e-com brand, okay, there's, hey, do you hate your 9 to 5? Here's a $300 billion opportunity. Oh my God, Kylie Jenner just does this. If you shop online, then you can do your own brand. This is how you can make 10K a month. You can launch an online store in 4 weeks. You can copy and paste my system. There can be some kind of story. This is how I went from working at McDonald's to now driving a Lamborghini. There can be stuff, around value or your unique process, right? There's 100 different ways to sell a single product. And then when we go later into the testing phase, we want to test as many of these angles as possible because, it still baffles me to this day some of the angles that work, right? Even after doing this for 5 years, angle 7 out of 10 angles could be the best one, and then we double down on that. So the best way to come up with angles is, we don't really have a step-by-step process with this, but you can almost look at it like a Venn diagram, okay? We have the customers, the market, the competitors, and the solution. And you want the angles to kind of be a combination or like inside the Venn diagram circles for each of these, right? But the best way to look at this is, like we said, looking at the customer research, looking at our own process, looking at the market and the trends and the competitors, and just there alone, you'll get 30 or 50 angles, okay? Let's say you're teaching a course helping, mothers with children that have like ADHD or behavioral issues, right? Just in the customer research alone, there is probably 20, 30, 50 angles there that you can ship. Oh, my kid doesn't listen to me. Oh, I tried punishing my kid and it doesn't work. Why are other kids seem to be so well behaved and my aren't? Am I failing as a parent? Oh my God, am I running out of time, right? So these are all objections and thoughts and fears and things like that that this market is already thinking. So we can put that into an angle, focus that on the idea of the ad, and then ship them. Or an example, if you have a unique process where, let's say, you have some special teaching method, right? You can lead with that. Oh, this one trick helped me, get my kid finally start listening to me. Or, I use this, Russian martial art system to make my kid obey me, or all these different things from a unique story, or even, my kid didn't used to listen to me, now he does because of this. It's like a kind of personal one. Or there's like a market trend research, right? So we may find research that, 80% of kids are suffering from, hyperactive nervous systems, right? You can find that on the internet. Or, there could be something with a celebrity, like, I'm trying to think of who a good celebrity parent is. This is, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively's system for making their kids obey them, right? And then you can kind of transition into your story. So just there alone, between the market, the competitors, customers, your unique process, and the actual market, you can come up with 30, 40, 50 angles. And the best way to do this is to actually write the angles. So sit down, set a timer. Don't leave your laptop or your notepad until you come up with 50 angles, right? And you can be super, super creative with this. And later in the video, I'll actually give you a prompt that can, smack out like 50 for you at once. But this is the next step. You've done all the research. Now it's time to get creative, have a little bit of tea, put some music on, and don't stop until you have 50 high converting angles that you can put into the Facebook ads. Once you have your 50 angles, depending on how much time you have and your production budget, the next step is to actually get into scripting, right? So we have the higher level ideas. How can we turn those ideas into actual scripts that we can record to convey the message as effectively as possible? Now, one hack that we do to save us a ton of time so we can ship 20, 30 creatives at once is looking at each angle as an actual hook, right? And then having a generic body for each of the different hooks, right? So taking the e-commerce course example like we were speaking about earlier, we could have 8 hooks. Hey, if you're stuck in a 9 to 5, you hate, then there's this new opportunity. Oh, I made $5 million last year from starting my e-commerce brand. If you love shopping online, then you can actually create your own product as well. This is how I find $1 million product ideas. If you have your own e-commerce brand and you're getting no sales, this is how. there's this new 2024 trend. This is how I'm using AI to start e-commerce brands. Just there off the top of my head, I gave you like 8 different angles that we can expand on. And then from there, each of those hooks can go into one single body. So to go, hook 1, body, hook 2, body, hook 3, body. And the body's the same for all the videos that depending on the market and the actual course, tell a story, educate a little bit, and then obviously get the CTA at the end to get people to click. Now, I don't want to go too deep on script writing because that could be like a whole 6-hour course. But in a nutshell, the way that we want to script video ads after the hook, obviously the goal of the hook is to get attention as much as possible. And TikTok is great for this, right? TikTok is basically like a hook database. You can go and find, copy, and replicate, hook formats that are already working from the research in phase 1. But when we go into the body, basically the whole goal of the ad is to make the prospect or the viewer believe that this is finally the solution that's going to get them to the desires, right? Especially in a world now where there's thousands of products and free YouTube and information online. A lot of this ad is actually going to be shooting down other options, right? So if you're a parent and you've tried, disciplining your kids, or you've tried rewarding them or bribing them or doing stuff and it still didn't work, it didn't work because it's missing the root cause of child behavior, right? So with every single ad, even if it's starting a business online, okay, it's, the reason if you tried starting online business, the reason it didn't work is because like it's super hard and super complex. But now I have this simple AI system where I found this new opportunity that takes 4 hours a week, okay? So in a nutshell, the ad is trying to basically take the prospect from where they are right now with their beliefs, the other solutions that they're trying or tried in the past, what they're thinking and feeling, acknowledging it, say, hey, yeah, I get it, it's true, like it's not your fault, and then going into the solution, which is different from everything else that they've tried or seen before, explaining the solution, ideally demonstrating it and showing it, benefits, case studies, social proof, and then a CTA at the end, getting them to, watch the free training on the next page, sign up for the webinar, buy the course on the next page, whatever it is. So in terms of script writing, and again, at the end of this video, I'm actually going to give you just copy and paste prompts that are going to write the script for you. But in a nutshell, the way we script is we have 6, 8, 10, 30 hooks that all test a different angle, a different message, and then one body that clarifies what they're thinking and convinces them that your unique solution is the only and the newest and the most effective way to get them to the desire, and then obviously the CTA at the end. So use the prompts at the end of the video. Then once you have the scripts, the next phase is actually going into production, so shooting it, okay? Now there's a lot of ways people think that they need kind of like fancy cameras like mine or professional mics and setup. You don't need that, and funnily enough, iPhone videos for most of our courses are actually working better than production quality. So there's a few ways. Obviously, if you're the instructor and you're the talent, you can shoot it yourself. I don't have my phone on me, but you can just shoot a simple selfie video. If you want and you're fancy, you can get a DSLR. Make sure that you're shooting in vertical as well, because most of your traffic, most of your viewers are going to come from mobile. So you want that kind of like 4x5 grid. We'll get into that in a second. So shoot vertical if you can. Or if you don't want to be the face or you want a customer or someone else to do it, there's a few options here. So number one, if you already have customers or clients, you can actually get them to record ads for you, right? Similar to the e-com model with the UGC. You can send them the scripts, they send you the videos, maybe you pay them or whatever, and then you can edit it. Another option which we actually love, especially if the instructor wants to stay incognito, is hiring actors and talent online to do it for you. So you can go to sites like Backstage, you can go to Star Now, you can put job posts live for a particular niche, right? So let's say take the child behavior course again. I can post on Backstage, hey, I'm looking for an actor who has experience in childcare, and you'll get 50 applicants. Some of them may be old teachers, some of them are parents that have had similar stories to you, some may even be working in the field, kind of like helping children with autism, and they have the acting background, so they're going to nail the script. Now, the final option, shooting yourself or getting a customer, getting an actor to do it for you. Now the actors are usually going to cost money. The fourth option is actually getting AI to do it for you, right? So we have some products right now where, I don't want to be the face of it that we own, where we simply just get AI voiceover to record the script, and we put kind of B-roll or images or videos over the top, right? There's sites like HeyGen you can use. 11 Labs is the one. So either I like HeyGen the best, but 11 Labs, you can simply upload your script. You can choose the voice, whether it's female, male, old, English, British, American, whatever, and get the audio for you. And then in the next phase in production, you can actually go to start editing the images. So a few tips for shooting as well. We found that testing is that if you're doing a selfie video, moving as you're talking actually increases watch rates and click-through rates. So instead of you just kind of standing there in the camera like I am now, you can swing around, you can move around, you can talk, you can keep it thing, you can even, you know, walk forward. And also having two things, having distance in the background, so a big depth of field works better because it makes you pop more. And also the more colors you can have in the background, I know it sounds weird, but it actually works, is the more kind of like exciting and visual it is to the eye, the more dopamine it spikes and the more views that you're going to get. So if you want to go to a park with greenery, if you have like some interesting paintings or stuff in your wall behind you, it's going to work a lot better. So movement, handheld, things like that, colors in the background, advice if you're shooting. And obviously if you're working with a creator or an actor, make sure that you brief them on exactly how you want them to shoot. What's the setup like, things like that, and also give revisions, right? Watch the video back, and if it sounds shit and if it sounds scripted, give them feedback on how they can make it better, okay? So now you've done the research, you've come up with the angles, you've done the scripting, you've got the raw files and the shooting of all the hooks and all the bodies, whether it's with you or the next person. The next step is actually going into production. Now, there's a few ways to do this. Chances are you're not an editor, you don't have editing experience, so you can go on places like Upwork, you can go on places like Fiverr, put a job post live, look at a few portfolios of editors and, you know, see what they charge and brief them, okay? Or if you want to edit it yourself, you can use tools that I love, like Descript. So Descript is an AI tool where you can drag your video in, it kind of transcribes it for you. You can edit it like a Word document and just drag and drop images in. Regardless, you really want to have a really, really clear brief if you're editing or you're hiring an editor on exactly what needs to go in, because most of these editors don't understand direct response, okay? So even if you have the script in brackets underneath, you can put what visuals you want over the top, because again, Instagram, Facebook, where we're going to be running the ads is a very, very visual platform. And the more we can show, number one, it's going to, you know, spike dopamine, right? If it's just a person standing in front of the camera, it's going to be boring. But if there's like, boom, screenshot, boom, V-roll of a kid, boom, you know, photo of me, it's going to like hit them and keep them in. And obviously it's going to increase the selling power, right? Saying I made $1 million from my e-com brand isn't the same as saying I made it and then also showing a screenshot, okay? Or showing a photo of me on a Lamborghini like the gurus do. So when you're editing or when you're working with the editor, you want to make sure that, you know, visuals are matching up to what's being said as much as possible to break up the kind of pattern and keep people engaged. Another huge thing which is really, really important is they say that the hook is in the first 3 seconds. That is completely wrong. The hook is in the first 0.01 seconds. So when you're working with the editor, you want to make sure that in the first split second, in the first frame of the video, there's some kind of movement, there's something interesting happening, whether it's a swipe in with the camera, whether it's a screenshot popping up, whether it's kind of like a warp zoom coming into the face. The more dynamic, the more movement, the more entertaining you can make that first second, watch rates are going to go up, people are going to watch the rest of the video, they're going to stop scrolling. It's going to tell Facebook it's a high value video and you're going to get cheaper views, cheaper clicks, cheaper purchases, and a ROAS. So I'm not going to give you an editing tutorial, but as a principle and a theme, the first split second is super important. Lots of movement all the way into the third second. Keep their attention, and the more visuals and proof and different shots you can give throughout the video, the higher the watch rates, the more believable it's going to be, and the more clicks that you're going to get. And then obviously at the end in text, you want a CTA, which is, you know, click learn more below or click watch now below to tell them what to do. So go on Fiverr, download Descript, edit the videos yourself. And remember that the way that we're editing, hook 1 body, hook 2 body, hook 3 body. So, you know, you can record one body video with different hook variations and have 20, 30 different ads to ship. Now, the next step, once you get the videos back, maybe you've done some revisions, is to actually launch them on Facebook. So what we like doing, especially if we're starting on a small budget, is we can look at all these different hooks and angles that we have. Let's say we have 10 angles, and we want to kind of split them up into buckets, okay? So, for example, you know, leave your 9 to 5, start a side hustle in just 4 hours a week, make your first $1,000 online, very, very, you know, beginner-friendly angles. We want to put them into the same campaign or the same ad set or, you know, whatever the structure is to see which one works the best. Conversely, with the same product, let's say we have a little bit more advanced you know, angles where it's like, you know, if you want to scale your Shopify store, this is our 2024 AI system that we're using for e-commerce brands. Put that in a bucket and then put that into its own ad set or its own campaign to run them against each other. Now, there's a million ways to do this, and like I said, it's going to be another video. Whatever your ad account structure looks like, you want to ship it and you want to make sure that each of these videos is getting enough spend. Okay, now usually depending on what you're optimizing for, whether it's like a webinar lead, whether it's, you know, an initiate checkout or an actual purchase, you want to make sure that the ad spending enough to kind of see what angles are working out of the 8. You could ship 8 angles. The first 6 are absolute dog shit. Number 7 is crushing, super profitable, and then 8's really bad, and then you know that angle's working. It could be angle 1, 2, and 3 are working, and the others aren't working. But you want to make sure that each of the ad creatives have enough spend, depending on your target CPA, to be able to have enough data on what's working. Now, if you're selling a really, really high ticket product, and maybe you need to spend a few $1,000s to actually get a customer, some of the metrics that we look for are what's the hook rate, okay? What's the unique outbound CTR, which shows kind of how many people are watching and actually clicking it. And then if you don't have enough data to see if people are purchasing, you can actually look at earlier metrics like initiate checkout or leads, okay? Because after enough spend, you're going to get enough data to see which of these angles is actually working. Now, the final step, once you've tested ads however you want and you've tested these different angles, hopefully you're going to get some awesome data, okay? You're going to see which angles are working the best, which hooks are working the best, even if you've tested different headline and copy variations. And most people stop there. They say, hey, we've got a winning ad, sick, let's scale it, right? But ads fatigue, and you always want to double down and see if you can improve the creative. So what we do at the agency is we take our winning ad, we look at it, we look at the angle, we see how many variations can we make to try and beat this ad. So here are some options you can do once you have a winning ad to beat it. Can you change the hook? Okay, so you can either record different hooks that are similar. Instead of making, this is how you make your first $1,000 online, it could be this is how you make your first $2,000 online. So you could change the script. Another thing which is way easier is you could just change the first 3 seconds, okay? So you could start with flashy B-roll of Lamborghinis and sales and then go into the hook. You could do like a POV video on a beach and then transition into a hook. That's a great way to test. Another one is different body variation lengths, okay? So you can script different bodies, one around the story, one that's problem, benefit, solution, one that's more focused on social proof, one that's focused on urgency, and you can re-record them. If you want something easier, you can actually do what we call like body cut downs, okay? So we run 20, 30 minute long video ads on Facebook. Usually we run them and they crush, and then we test different variations. So can we take this 30-minute video with a hook and a lead and an angle that's working? Can we cut down and maybe do a 15-minute variation and a 10-minute variation and a 5 and a 2-minute variation and put them on Facebook to see which one works the best? And random side topic, but Facebook will actually show different video lengths based on different people at different times when they're more likely to absorb the content, right? So if they may see that somebody's out and about and they don't have time to watch a 20-minute video, so they're going to show them a 2-minute video. If somebody's sitting at home and they're connected to the Wi-Fi, Facebook knows that they are in the mood for maybe watching a 20-minute video, and they'll show you to that. So it's great to having that variations once the hooks are done. Another example of testing and optimizing ads is changing the format, okay? So we always recommend editing our videos in a 4:5 format. So I'll put this on the screen, but 1080 by 1350px in terms of the kind of dimensions. You can give that to the editor or in the editing thing. But that's kind of, it takes up a lot of the feed, especially if you're scrolling on mobile, so that works really, really well. But beyond that, if the ad's working, you can cut it into a 9:16 format, which is like the kind of tall TikTok story reel thing, which takes up the full screen. And obviously there's less placement there, but in terms of Facebook stories, Instagram stories, it takes up the whole screen and usually converts better. And then obviously the final optimization that you can do for the ads is actually changing the body copy. So we love testing different headline variations based on the winning angle. So again, if it's leave your 9 to 5, headlines should be, I just quit my 9 to 5, leave your 9 to 5 in 6 days, fire your boss with this new system that match the angle. You can put them all into a single ad, see which headlines work better, and then run with that. And then same with the body copy. You can test different leads, different lengths. Is it like a 2-line above the fold? Is it like a long form story body copy? We have no idea what's going to work because every product, every ad, every market is different. So it's best just to test this. And then this process doesn't really stop, okay? You test angles, you see what works, you test more angles and you see what more works. Maybe try some completely new ideas just like you did in the first batch to find more winners. And then you also keep testing on the winning angles, different hooks, different body copies, different formats. If you shot inside, can you shoot outside last time? If angle 2 is working really, really well, can you get an actor to film it for you to see if they convert better? Or can you get someone of the opposite gender to target a different metric? Can you get a better editor in to make the animations better? So this does not stop, okay? There's never a winning ad and we're done and it's great and we scale. Yes, obviously you have winning ads and they scale, but we're always looking to optimize. Can we get the CTR up? Can we get the click-through rate up? Can we make it better and better and better? Because eventually what happens, you have one ad that's absolutely destroying, you test another 8, and you have 2 ads that are destroying. Now you have 3 that are crushing, and all these ads can be making $500, $1,000, $2,000 a day each. And you're just building up all these different angles, targeting different market segments with different messages, with different lengths, with different platforms, and you can basically take over the whole market and sell to as many people as possible, and obviously scale your online course. That, in a nutshell, is our Facebook ad creative system for scaling online courses in 2024 and 2025, depending on when you're watching this. We've been doing this for a while, and the principles always stay the same. Doing a ton of research, coming up with a ton of angles to test, getting them produced, getting them edited, testing them on Facebook, double down on, and then having that awesome creative cycle that allow you to scale. Now, if you enjoyed this video or you have any feedback, let me know below. This is the first kind of face-to-cam, one-to-one, non-podcast content that so I'm open to taking feedback, open to getting roasted on my stutter and how fast I talk. That's totally fine. But what I've done is I've actually taken the exact AI prompts and kind of process that we use internally in the agency sometimes, and I've actually left them down below this video. So in the description, you can click it and you'll get access to all of our AI prompts in our exact step-by-step system that will actually allow you, to script your own ads with AI, produce them and ship them a lot faster than you would if you were doing it on your own. So if it sounds good and you want to try this, click the description. If you have any questions, any feedback, any comments, comment below, like, thumbs up, subscribe.